Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy JJ Waring here. We're back with another episode of the Flaming Teeth podcast. It's week 3, baby. We are on a roll, and this week's guest is Mr. Elliott Llewellyn. Would you like to say hello?
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. It's
That's
going good.
good.
How
That's
about
good.
you? How you doing?
I'm good as well. No one's ever asked me how I am doing, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of
It's
you.
important.
Yeah, no, checking out mental health of everyone. It's very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Before we get into the podcast, of course, do all the good things. Share my content. Like the video. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't. I think we're on 49 subscribers right now. We're one off 50, man. We need one more person. Thanks for all the appreciation on these podcasts, by the way, because I spoke to a lot of you guys, and you guys seem to really enjoy it. So I'll try and keep posting weekly uploads of this, and until you guys just had enough, I guess. But anyway, man, how are you coping with lockdown?
You know what? I'm doing better than I was originally because now I can actually see friends. And
Yeah.
so I saw you. I saw a bunch of the boys. You know, I've gotten used to it. There's been a lot of barbecuing, a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Been very active now. I've been more active since the pandemic. So that's a plus.
That's pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of exercise in.
Yeah.
It's good.
So would you say
you
were like struggling when you were just trapped at home with like your family?
Yeah, because even though that's what I was doing before, the fact that I wasn't allowed to go out it messed with my head. But now I can, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see anyone when you were just allowed to see one person at a time?
No, I didn't. Bruh. What, did you?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Bowie. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like I randomly saw people. I saw Joseph.
Yeah, I think I saw.
He had a little beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Robert as well. I was like walking my dog, and I looked behind me, and I just saw him with his mum and his sister, and he's like waving at me like.
My god.
That was pretty funny.
That's sick.
Yeah. So you've been saying you're doing like walks and stuff. That's how you keep in.
Yeah, doing a lot of family walks, like pretty much one every day. Yeah,
that's
it
good.
is.
That's definitely
good.
When you're allowed to only do like one piece of exercise, I just had to take my dog for a walk every day. But now they can do like more. I'm going for a run every other day because I'm trying to get my stamina back up. You know?
Yeah, I should probably do that, but I'm not going to. No. I'm just going to keep with one walk.
Yeah, that's still good. That's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So now we'll move on to the recommendation section of the podcast. So I'll let you go first. So this is how it works. You say your film, I say my film, then you say your TV show, and I'll say my TV show, then you say your song, then I'll say my song, okay?
Alright.
So you say your film that you're going to recommend for the people watching.
Alright, so my recommendation is one of my favourites, Lost in Translation. It's an absolute classic.
Okay.
So, it's got Bill Murray in it.
Yeah.
I believe Scarlett Johansson.
Yep.
It's about Bob, alright? He's an American actor. He goes to Tokyo to do a whiskey advert. And then Charlotte is there as well, because her husband's a photographer. And basically, their lives both suck. And so they become friends over that in their hotel. And it's a movie where, like, nothing really happens, but you're still really satisfied at the end of it. And it's very nice.
I've heard people describe it as literally like nothing happens for the whole
of the film. Yeah, nothing happens. But it's great. It's really good. Yeah.
That's like, I know parts where, like, at the end where he whispers something to her, but you never know what it's actually said.
Yeah, so that is subjective, which is nice.
Yeah. That's pretty good ending. That's a pretty good way to end your film, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's good.
I know that part where he goes to the strip bar or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's
great bit. Yeah.
I'll give that a watch then, I think. Sounds good.
Yeah, nice.
So,
it is good.
So the film I'd like to recommend for the third week running is Captain Phillips. Have you ever heard of this film?
No, never heard of it.
It's the one where the meme comes from, where it's like, look at me, I'm the captain now.
Oh,
that's where that comes from. So it's about this guy who is played by Tom Hanks, Captain Phillips, and it's about this like boat which is like it's traveling goods. It's not got any people on board. It's just got the crew. And it's just like those carriage boats that just carry goods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those, and it's just got like a small crew on board. But then they get attacked by Somalian pirates, I think it is, like modern day pirates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. I haven't watched it in a while, but I just remember it's very, very moving and very good. And then they like take over the boat, and then it's a story about how they like take charge, and then how they get into power on the boat, and then it's about how the people try to fight back on the boat, the crew, and then the American like Navy gets involved and they save them. It's based on a real story as well, which is mad. And it's got a really good ending. It's just a great film, and I'm pretty sure, apart from Toy Story 4, it's the only film that's ever made me cry.
Really?
Yeah. I did watch it when I was like 11 or 12 though, so I've grown up a bit.
Yeah.
But it's still
what
very,
bit
very
made you cry?
Just the bit. It's like it's unbelievable like what they actually went through, and I was just like, how can someone go through all that and just still end up like okay? It was just mad. It's just so mad, and it just really made me think a lot.
Yeah, I should give that a watch. Sounds interesting. You don't think of modern day pirates, though.
I know. I never realised they were still a thing, until I watched that film.
Yeah, exactly.
My mum was like, these are pirates now. These are modern day pirates. I'm like, what? That's still a problem.
Yeah.
I was like, bruh.
Bruh.
So, what's the TV show you'd like to recommend?
All right, TV show. It's on Netflix. It's called BoJack Horseman. All right,
I've heard
it's a
that, yeah.
classic.
Classic.
Yeah, it's Yeah, it is. All right, it's about a humanoid horse called Bojack Horseman. Okay, he's a washed-up actor who starred in like a hit '90s show, and he's just clinging on to his past. And the whole sort of 6 seasons are about him regaining his dignity and taking control of his life. And it's great because you can really connect to him, and like as he improves, it also like motivates you to improve upon yourself. Because if this like washed up horse actor can get his life together, then so can you. So it's good. It's motivational and it's really funny.
You like it stood out to you because you can relate to BoJack Horseman. Do you feel?
Yeah, I can relate to the washed up horse actor. Yeah, it's good.
I've heard good things about that. I watched like a Watch Mojo video on that. I think it's like top 10 cartoons of this century or something.
Yeah. I love it. I've seen all 6 seasons. It's great.
I don't really watch that much TV shows on Netflix. I probably should watch more.
Yeah, you should. There's some good stuff on there.
Yeah, okay. Well, the TV show I'd like to recommend this week is The In-Betweeners.
Oh.
Do you like The In-Betweeners?
I've never seen it.
Really? You've never seen it?
Yeah, never seen it.
It's about these 4 guys who go to the 6th form, and it's just about literally just life being a 6th former.
Oh.
So, even though I watched it when I was in year 11, I still related to it quite a bit, because it's like people our age. But I guess I'll relate to it more once we actually get in 6th form,
That was definitely.
But yeah, it's just really funny. Got some good characters, great acting, just the whole bunch really, and that's why I quite like it, and that's why I'd recommend it.
Nice. Good.
What's the song you'd like to recommend?
Alright, the song I'd like to recommend is called We Almost Lost Detroit by Jill Scott-Heron and Brian Jackson.
I've never heard of any of those people.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's really good though. It's jazz and tells a story of the nuclear meltdown, like the Enrico sort of nuclear generating station, which was in Michigan, so it's by Detroit, so that's where the name comes from. And it's really chill, and yet it's also able to tell an emotional story at the same time. I love it. It's great. I would recommend it.
It must be a pretty good song to be able to tell you a story.
Yeah, I love those sorts of songs.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, the song I'd like to recommend is Hey Panini by Lil Nas X. Have you listened to this song?
Yeah.
It's so sick, isn't it? It's so
great.
sick.
Gotta love it. Yeah.
I just really like that. Obviously, Lil Nas X is probably most well known for his Old Town Road song, but
Yep.
I
Mhm.
think Hey Panini is so overshadowed by that. It's just such a good song. I really like it for some reason. Just
Yeah. That's
my
good.
sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
I just think it's pretty
For
good, to
sure.
be fair.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the
Oh god.
recommendation section of the podcast done, and now
Mm.
we move on to the big debate. Are you ready for the
Yep.
big debate?
I'm so ready.
Okay,
God.
so this week's
Okay.
debate is all about should marijuana slash weed slash cannabis or whatever way you want to call it be
Devil's
legalized
lettuce.
in the UK. And what do you have to say on
Mm.
the subject, Elliot?
Got
It's
some
your time
stuff
to
to say.
shine.
Okay. Look, I definitely think it should be legalized. Okay, because look, to overdose on TCH, which is like the most potent thing in marijuana, you smoke at least between 15 or 70 grams to actually overdose and die.
Mm-hmm.
And considering a blunt is like half a gram, you need to smoke a lot of weed for
Yeah.
it to actually kill you and have
Yeah.
negative effects. But with like alcohol, for example, you only need around like a liter of hard spirits or like 4 bottles of wine for you to get alcohol poisoning and like potentially die.
Yeah.
So, and like with alcohol, you can become like aggressive, antisocial, suicidal. You can do things you'll definitely regret. But with weed, you
Mm-hmm.
just don't have any of those like impacts. So it's a lot safer than alcohol. So my main point is, if alcohol is legal, then why the hell is weed illegal?
Yeah.
Because weed is arguably way more safer than alcohol, and yet alcohol's still legal.
Because, like, alcohol's a lot easier to come by, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So I think with weed, it should be sold in pharmacies, but I feel like the price of weed should be very high. So like people who aren't doing too well in life, they can't afford it
Yeah.
because otherwise they'll rely on it. So I think weed should only be enjoyed if your life is going well. If it's
I
not, then I
see.
don't think you should have it
Yeah.
because then you'll rely on it.
So you
Yeah.
think they should make certain laws to, like,
Mm.
stop certain people from getting it?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
or maybe just the prices and such. Because
Yeah, yeah.
if yeah,
That
because
makes sense.
otherwise then you'll just end up relying on it, and then that's not good. But if you just have it to have a good time, then that's completely fine.
Yeah.
It's like alcohol in that sense,
I can see where you're coming
but
from.
safer.
I can see
Yeah.
where you're coming from. But
Mm. Mm.
my extensive knowledge of weed is
Yeah.
very minimum, and
Yeah.
it
That's
mostly
cool.
comes from a Simpsons episode where Homer gets addicted to medicinal marijuana. That's pretty
Yeah.
much my extensive research on this topic.
Dude, you can't really get addicted to weed. Like, it's just not one of those things. Like,
Is
you'll
it
have it.
what class is it? What class drug is it?
I'm not entirely sure about that.
I'm not entirely sure on like the class system. Anyway,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
same.
You learn them in science, don't
Oh,
you? But I just didn't really get it.
yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, it's fine. It should be legal. It would be great.
But
Yeah.
you know how you're saying like you need a lot to have an overdose, like you need
Yeah.
a very high amount, and
Yeah.
you don't have you take a quite low amount when you smoke it. But if you
Hmm.
do, even though it is hard to get addicted, like if like
Yeah.
one in what are the odds? Do you think you get
Well, I'm not
addicted?
sure.
I mean, like it's probably gonna be like 1 in 50 or something like that if you get addicted.
Probably higher, to be honest.
Okay,
Like,
probably okay.
it's
Say one
like,
in 100 then.
yeah,
But
yeah,
those
sure.
people will just keep wanting to buy it, keep smoking it, and then eventually they will get to that amount, and they'll die.
Mm.
So you're gonna have,
No, because
but you're gonna have those people who are gonna get addicted
mm,
to it and who are gonna risk their life, like just smoking it
yeah,
like every day.
but so you need like say like 15 grams or more in a day, and if weed is made very expensive, then you probably won't be able to buy that much. And if we do it so it's an over the counter drug, then pharmacy will track how many you've bought in a certain amount of time, and therefore that'll prevent you from stockpiling it and being able to have enough that it would kill you. So they'll only give you a certain amount per a limited amount of time. So then it would be able to be taken safely and in a short space of time.
Because you've done your research on this.
Dude, I have. It's important. It's the big debate. Come on.
I guess. So if they did legalize it, would you smoke it?
Yes, absolutely.
I see.
Yep.
But another thing you could say is, other countries have it legalized. Like some countries don't have it legalized.
Yeah.
But I think the main reason why it's not legalized in the UK is it just because even though like right now it isn't allowed, but people will still smoke it because they get like drug deals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those people would stop selling it, and then like the drug dealer community would take a massive downfall, And even those people, even though they're lowest of the low, they're still people, and they need their money. I know this is a bad argument, but I don't care.
So you're saying legalizing marijuana will hurt the drug dealing industry? That's what you're saying.
But that's true. It's true, isn't it?
No, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I guess drug dealers will have it hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be honest, it might be a good thing. It'll help them to get their lives together and get an actual job instead of having to sell marijuana to make a living. I think it'll be a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. And something to develop from that point is if they stop selling marijuana, then other drugs might be more promoted that are still illegal, such as go on, name some drugs that are illegal. I know you're good on your drugs.
I don't know, heroin.
Yeah.
Crack, cocaine,
things like that.
ecstasy.
Yeah, those things will become more popular as like marijuana. You can just get it from a pharmacy now. So people who were buying that from drug dealers will now move to another drug because they can just get marijuana easily now. So then drug dealers will start promoting other more dangerous drugs, and that could lead to more deaths in the country. Things get addicted.
So you're saying people aren't selling weed as much since pharmacies is more expensive, so people can move to more dangerous drugs.
Yeah, if like what you said, if they put like a high price on marijuana in the pharmacy, then people will and even like drug dealers might still sell marijuana, but for a lower price, So maybe that's another point. So you could say that they would sell. You could say that they could sell more marijuana if it was legalized, and you could say that they also sell more other drugs if people started getting marijuana from the pharmacies, so they could make it easier, and then if they stop selling that, then they'll sell more drugs and try to promote them,
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, currently, drug laws are sort of lax at the moment because loads of people can just smoke weed and get away with it. So I think if you were to legalize marijuana, then you'd also have to implement harder laws that will crack down harder on illegal drug dealers and drug takers. Because right now it's just weak, isn't it? And so I feel like if you make more of an effort to imprison drug dealers that deal illegal drugs and drug takers, then that will promote the buying of the legal stuff. Because if you make an example out of a bunch of people, then people will be more likely to buy from a pharmacy instead of a drug dealer, even if it costs more. Because the threat is still here now, but it's not as prominent. Whereas if you introduce new, harder laws, then I feel like a lot more people would just buy from pharmacies.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Fair play. You come back from that quite well.
Thanks.
I think that's pretty much all we've got time to say on the big debate then. Do you want to say anything else, or you got any more points?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, well, those are our opinions on drugs. And now let's move on to the top 5 list. So this is the part of the podcast where we look at a top 5 list and we name our top 5 list. It's that simple. I think you guys know the gist by now. Probably shouldn't have explained it. Okay. So this week's top 5 list is our top 5 favourites. Sorry, guys. Our top 5 favourite singers / bands. Would you like to start off, Mr.
Alright, I'll start. Yeah, okay, so number 5, I'm just going to go with David Bowie. Absolute classic, man. We all know David Bowie.
Yeah.
Alright, it's just, he's so versatile with his, he's got different personas that he does on stage, like Ziggy Stardust, absolute icon, bro.
Yeah.
Like the actual
front
there. Yeah, he is. Then he was taking heroin and stuff. You know, he's got a persona, the persona of the Thin White Duke out of his darker years, and he's just. I think he's very likable because he puts himself out there, and you can relate to him through his personas. Yeah, it's number 5.
Nice. He's got some very good songs out there, hasn't he? Some of his stuff, like Rebel, and
like Heroes.
Yeah, Under Pressure is another banger. That song.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. I'd probably say that that's not on my list, but that's definitely up there, top 10 probably.
Yeah.
Okay, well, coming in at my number 5, I'm gonna go with ABBA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I quite like golden oldies, you know. I'm just part of that genre.
Yeah.
And they've got some very good songs. Have you ever seen the film Mamma Mia?
No.
Yeah, well, they did the music for that, and there's some. Although the story isn't great, I think the music that they made for that film really helps it achieve a good moral understanding. I don't know what to say. But they're a good band. I really like their songs. So coming in number 5. So what's your number 4?
All right. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Jimi Hendrix. Absolute lad, pioneer in the rock and R&B world, dude. Nice. Fucking legend at guitar. And although his career was short-lived, he only had about 4 years of fame. He made some absolute bangers, and he's always going to be a legend to me. Yeah.
All I know about him is he just used to break guitars when he did. That's literally all I know. Put them on fire or something.
Oh yeah.
I don't really know any of the songs. Can you enlighten me on some?
Ever heard of Purple Haze? Ever heard of Hey Joe?
No,
Either of them? All Along the Watchtower?
No, I need to listen to this stuff. Are they good?
God, yeah. No, they're great.
Of course
really good.
Okay, yeah, I should. That's probably someone I should be listening to then. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem.
This is what the top 5 list is all about. It's about sharing our opinions on these things, you know.
Yeah, finding new things.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, coming in at number 4. Gonna be someone quite recent who's popped up on the music scene.
Ooh.
It's gonna be Mr. Ed Sheeran.
Oh.
Do you like his songs?
No.
You don't?
I don't really listen to them. So.
Yeah, and you're more rock and stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm more into that.
But I just think, he's got some good songs out there, and I just think the fact that he can do so much with his vocals is very good. Like David Bowie's a bit diverse with his music, so he can do rap and slow beats as well. I just think he's just a very good singer, in my opinion. Just gonna say that. So what's coming in at your number 3?
Alright, number 3. Probably never heard of them, but Buena Vista Social Club is an ensemble of Cuban musicians, because it was made by a documentary where Nick Gold went around Cuba and essentially gathered up a bunch of famous musicians, and they made an album, and I just absolutely love it because it's got some classic post-revolutionary sort of just Cuban music, so it's it's historical, and it's got some amazing guitar. It's just it's amazing. It's good. Focuses a lot on sort of instruments instead of vocals, and it's iconic. It's iconic. It's great.
No, I've never heard of them, like you said.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll give them a listen, but it's okay.
You
That's
should.
good that you think they're good that you're more interested in that side, like the instruments and stuff. That's good.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
variety.
Mm.
Coming up, my number 3 is going to be Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like them?
Mm. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Gotta like Queen.
Yeah, you have to like Queen. I don't think my
Yeah,
dad likes Queen for
gotta.
some reason. We watched Bohemian Rhapsody quite recently, and he was like, "Nah, I don't like this."
Oh yeah,
Have
yeah.
you
We
seen?
watched that recently too.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
it's good.
Yeah, I like it.
Mm.
It's good. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they've got their greatest hits album was like banger after banger after banger. You know, they
Mm.
just got
Yeah.
so much iconic songs. Um,
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury's just a brilliant singer, and they just got some really
Mm.
talented people on the instruments. So they make
Yeah.
great music. Well, they made great music, and yeah, that's putting at my number 3. Moving into the
Yeah.
top
Okay.
2.
Or top 2. All right.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with. You might have heard of them. I don't know. Arcade Fire.
No, I haven't
Absolute.
heard of them.
No, bruh. Okay. Because this is the sort of music that my dad played when I was sort of growing up. So like I grew up on their music. They're like indie rock, and because I grew up around it, I think I'm always gonna like it. It's always gonna be sort of classics for me. I like every album. I like pretty much every single one of the songs, and I feel like I always will. So yeah, that's my number 2.
So what sort of genre of music do they make?
It's like indie rock, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's just, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Sounds pretty good.
Hmm.
Choosing some interesting ones here. Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, put in my number 2. It just has to be The Beatles.
Hmm. Oh,
You sure
I
you
don't know,
like them?
man.
Sure you like them?
I like a couple of their
Yeah.
songs. I don't know.
I like quite a lot, to be fair. It. I've seen the Yellow Submarine film.
Yeah.
The songs on there are very good. Although the film was a bit scary. It scared me when I was younger. But
Yeah.
just their music's just so iconic for like
Mm.
the songs they made back in the 60s. Like it was just
Yeah.
insane how they
Oh.
just invent
Oof.
like a new genre. You know?
Yeah. I suppose. I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
know. I
it's
don't
just
know.
like it's amazing what they did for what they had back then. You know? I just think.
Yeah. I'm gonna just say most of their songs are like elevator music. Okay. That's what
What do
I'm
you mean by
saying.
that?
They make very safe, formulaic music. It all sort of sounds the same. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but
I
I
don't
just
know.
quite like that. I quite like that. So I have them on this
Yeah.
playlist that I listen to, and whenever a music starts, I don't know which one it's gonna be, you know, until it gets to the
Yeah. Yeah.
chorus. And I just quite like that song. Like I don't know. I
Hmm.
just think that's pretty good, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's fair. Yeah.
So what is your number 1 favorite singer slash band, Elliot?
My number 1. Okay. My number 1 is Jaden Smith.
Oh my god, I
Okay.
love him.
Do you?
No, I don't.
Fuck you. That was mean, dude.
No, I've
Alright.
never heard of him.
Yeah.
I'm
Jaden
sorry.
Smith. You heard of Will Smith? You heard
Yeah,
of Will Smith? That's
the
his
actor.
son, bro. Yeah.
Ah,
Jaden Smith,
okay.
Will
I
Smith's
never knew
son.
he had a son who does music.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he does. Alright.
Oh,
Oh god, he's great. I love all of his songs, and he's an individual. He's got his own clothing line. He's got his own business, which
really?
is called it's called Just Water, and it sells responsibly sourced water. Got largely recycled bottles, and he helps provide clean water for places that don't have it with like filtration systems. So it's like, even though he was born into due to his family, his own wealth through like
Yeah.
music, and he's still doing good things.
Sounds
So
like a
like,
pretty cool dude.
not only does he make good music, but he's sort of like, he's an icon. You know, he's inspirational as an individual.
Is
And
he like a rapper?
yeah,
Yeah. What sort of songs does he
yeah.
make?
I don't know. Well, his most successful song is Icon. You heard of that one?
No, man, I've literally never heard of this guy,
All
man.
right.
I'm so
Oh my
surprised.
God.
I'm
Yo,
so
you need
surprised.
to educate yourself. No,
Yeah.
no, it's cool. Listen, all right.
Yeah.
It's good. He makes sort of it's a range of music, but it is mainly rap.
Yeah.
Good, like high energy, low energy, chill, just any sort of rap kind of music, and it's great.
So
Something
if
there
he
for
like
everyone.
dropped a song, that'd be like your main priority to listen to that. Would you say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Well, fair play then. Choose some interesting
Oh,
ones then. That's good. That's good. I like that.
yeah.
But I'm gonna go
Thanks, man.
with classic person. He may have done some weird stuff, but it's going to be Mr. Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
He is my
Yeah.
first spot. He's my favourite singer /
Yeah.
band. He's just amazing songs, left, right, and centre, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just I've ranked him the highest because he's literally done this all on his own, and he's also done this with a band. You know, with his brothers. Jackson 5.
Yeah.
And I just think he's made some sick songs with them. He's made some sick songs on his own, and like not many people can do that. They can't like make some sick songs with a band and on their own. But I know like Paul McCartney did it with the Beatles. That's why I put them in second. But yeah, he's just I really like his songs. He's just very
yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah,
like everyone knows Michael Jackson. Everyone knows
a
the Michael
household
Jackson
name.
song.
Household name.
Exactly.
Yeah,
definitely.
So yeah, he's coming in at number
Nice.
1 on my list of top 5 singers / bands. So that was interesting.
Nice.
That was interesting to hear each other's, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
That was good. Now we'll move on to what I think is the best segment of the podcast. It's the flashback.
Nice.
The flashback story. So this is where we tell a story from our past. Obviously, as you guys may know, Elliott doesn't have the greatest of memories. So his story is going to be quite recent, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But we'll respect it, we'll listen and respect it. So off you go, Elliott. Tell us the story.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't have the best memory. No. So I'm going to go with classic Danny smashing a window at the back of humanities in school. Like, you remember that, don't you? Like,
I wish I was there. I wasn't there, man.
Oh, yeah. It's good, because someone threw a rock at him. It was supposed to hit with a water bottle in the opposite direction of the building.
Yeah.
But yet he somehow managed to hit the rock directly into the window. The back of humanities absolutely just cracked to all hell. It didn't fall out of the pain, thank God.
Yeah.
It was absolutely shattered. You couldn't see through it. And I love seeing everyone's face the moment it happened. Because they all knew
I was there, man.
Something just happened.
So,
Danny's face.
Yeah. Did everyone just like freeze? Like
yeah. Everyone just registered what the hell just happened.
That's actually
how it happened.
How did he do that?
I don't know. And then one of the teachers that was on duty came over, and then Danny was like, "Yo, it was the wind. The wind the wind carried the rock into the window with such force that it shattered." We were all just like, "Danny, what are you on about? You clearly hit it into the window."
It wasn't on purpose though. It was an accident. But you can't just blame it on the wind.
I know, you can't do that.
Give us a bit of context, like why were you playing this game or something, like who started?
As usual, we were very bored at the back of humanities because table tennis wasn't on. It was very sad. So
the whole reason behind the story is because table tennis wasn't on. If you're listening out there, not then bring the table tennis book back.
Yeah, Miss Jones, I emailed you. You said you'd do something. You didn't. You're a liar. But, so we were just very bored. And so, you do what anyone else would.
Yeah.
So just throwing rocks and hitting rocks at one another, of course.
We do like other stuff as well where you just like make up a game or something. Like rolling 2p coins on the floor, just playing with Joseph's bouncy ball or something.
Yeah.
But this particular day, we decided to throw some rocks.
Yeah, the boredom, it just hit us. Yeah. So we were just throwing rocks, and then Danny just absolutely smashed the.
That's so
one of the funniest things. One of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It must have been so funny for like everyone else. Like Danny must have just been scared out of his life.
Yeah. God, his dad's like, I don't know, a vicar or something,
a
priest.
Yeah, it's like, that's not very good. That's not very good.
I know.
Yeah.
Even worse. Yeah, it was great.
Apparently, I think I heard this the other day. He still has not paid the school back for that.
Has he not?
I don't know. I don't know if that's fake news, but that's what the rumours are saying.
It might be. Yeah,
I've
heard
newspapers.
Say that. yeah, I heard about that.
That's good. That's good flashback. If no one had ever heard of that, that's a good story to tell.
Yeah.
But I'll tell mine now. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how long ago it was, but it was definitely Telford days. So I'd say it was between, I want to say like year 1 and year 4 or something like that, between there.
Oh. Yeah.
And basically I had this So this is where I was back in my old room, and I had my I don't know if it was my brother or my mum, like they gave me a big box, like a chocolate box, full of crayons. Not like crayons, like felted pens. You know them. And I used to draw stuff on like notepads and stuff. I was a keen drawer back in the day, but then I realised I was very bad at drawing, so I stopped.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's fair.
this particular day, I decided to just, you know what? Let's just draw a smiley face on the wall.
Oh no.
And so I got a red felted pen. I remember what colour it was. It was a red felted pen. And I just drew this like massive, it wasn't that big, but I drew the smiley face on the wall. And then as soon as I finished it, I was like, what have I done? I was like, what have I done? What are my parents going to say when they see that? So I had to think quick, because I heard my dad walking up the stairs. And so I looked around, and I found this poster of something. And so I just quickly got some blue tack, put it on the corners, and then stuck that over the smiley face.
Oh, nice.
And then it remained like that for goodness knows how long. Like 6 months to a year, I don't know. Like, no one ever took that poster down and found out what was behind it. And I was so relieved that I'd escaped with it. But then, that's not where the story ends. That's not the end of the story.
Oh, no.
So, one day, I must have been very young because my mum was helping me bathe. So, yeah, I must have been very young. But she was in the bathroom
we didn't need that.
Yeah. Like, washing my back or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then she goes and says something like, oh, I'm going to go clean up your room or something now, wash down my bath. And then I'm just like lying there in my bath, just chilling. And then my head suddenly clocks like, oh no, she's going to take the poster down. And then I can't get out of the bath because, you know, I'm like full on naked. I can't stop it. And then I just I just hear her say, what the hell is this? And I was like, my heart just sinks, man. My heart just sinks. No. And I just remember just telling me, like, asking me, why did you draw this? Like, why is this on there? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I just felt the urge to draw a smiley face on the wall for some reason. And so I think I had to clean it off with, like, a sponge or something. Yeah. But yeah, by that time it was pretty worn. It, like, almost worn away, but yeah. Yeah. So I think the moral of the story is don't draw a smiley face on your wall.
Yeah. No, I've actually had a very similar experience.
Really?
I found my mum's nail varnish and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna draw a smiley face on the wall for this. So I did. I regretted it instantly.
Yeah.
So my instinct was just to move my like drawer over the wall that I'd done it on,
clever.
and no one found out. And then we moved.
So it still remains there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Mom, if you're listening now. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Yeah.
That's funny. That's actually crazy though. Like, that's pretty similar stories.
Yeah, I know.
But I think the most interesting thing about that is when I was in your English class in year 8, we got given a mock. Something like the last question was describe this picture or something, and then the other one was describe or like write a story about regret that actually happened. And so I just decided to just use that story, and I just wrote it all down in my English book.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I don't think I got many marks for it though. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But we both had experiences with smiley faces on walls then, I see.
Yeah,
something similar about us. That's crazy.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, and looking at the watch.
Oh, yep.
And I think that is about as much time as we have this week for the little podcast. So thanks for coming out here, Elliott, and doing this, man.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Did you just forget the name of your own podcast?
No.
Are you sure?
Just elongated.
The little podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I should call it that little podcast.
The
little podcast, that's funny. Yeah, thanks for coming out here and talking to me. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
It's quite interesting learning about each other and doing things like this.
It is.
So, next week's guest, I hope, will be Mr. Dan Hutton.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
But, of course, if you guys are still listening. Fair play. Leave a like, of course, as I said at the start. Subscribe if you haven't. Literally one subscriber, man. One. I think I'm gonna put it in the boys' chat. I'm gonna be like, take a screenshot, and then please, if someone on this chat that's not subscribed, get on your YouTube channel and just subscribe, please. Because I just want 50 subscribers. But yeah, I'm gonna really try. Because by uploading a podcast and a gaming video every week, you know, like, I expect to get some more subscribers, you know? Like, this grind is real. And I want more subscribers, you know?
Yeah. It's understandable.
Yeah. So, if we could get, I know this is a hard target, but I would really appreciate if we got 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I know that we're like more than double what we got now, but I think it's possible, guys. So, yeah, as I said, thanks for listening. Tune in next week for the next podcast, and look out for another gaming video this Sunday. And I guess I'll speak to you guys soon. Peace.